Hope so.
Yeah.
I'll flip my lights on.
I'm good.
Yep.
All right. Lord Blackbird, who none of you, well, only Naomi knows as Lord Blackbird, is on the run from an arranged marriage to Count Carlo. I'm just reading I haven't read block text in so long. She hired a smuggler ship, the Owl, to take her from her palace on the his palace on the imperial world of Elysium to the far reaches of the remnants, so he could be with his once secret lover, the pirate queen, Ursula Flint. However, just before reaching the halfway point of Haven, a little bit before reaching the halfway point of Haven, the Owl was pursued and captured by the Imperial cruiser Hand of Sorrow under the charges of flying a false flag. Even now, Lady Blackbird, her bodyguard, and the crew of the Owl are detained in the brig while the commander of the cruiser, Captain Hollis, runs the smuggler's ship's registry over the wireless. It's only a matter of time before they discover the outstanding warrants and learn the Owl is owned by none other than the infamous outcast Cyrene?
Sure.
Sure. Vance. How will Lady Blackbird and the others escape the Hand of Sorrow? What dangers lie in their path? Will they be able to find the secret lair of the Pirate King, Pirate Queen, whatever? If they do, will Ursula Flint accept Lord Blackbird as her husband? By the time they get there, will he even want her to? Dun, dun, dun. Let's find out. I think we should find out. Alrighty. So, here. Where did I put all that stuff? I've got notes. Naomi.
Yes.
Could you describe for me the ways in which this brig cell reminds you, or does not remind you of your time as a slave? Oh yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of games. Get your invention hat on.
I'm enclosed and trapped and can't get out. The guards are so confident. We're not even being directly watched, but we know that they're lying everywhere in wait. No one's bothered with any food. And there are people with me, some of whom I can trust, some of whom I do not know.
And therefore do not trust.
And therefore, by default, do not trust.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. The brig of the ship, I don't know. I'm getting sort of a submarine vibe off of this because it's a very narrow hallway going past up the thing. It's like, kind of narrow, cramped, underdeck quarters, spaces rather. That sort of thing.
It didn't offer up lots of room in the pit fighting slaves quarters either. So
no. The guards, there's two guards that patrol like through this area and are apparently taking it relatively seriously. You count anywhere from 75 to 90 breaths between each pass. So they're basically doing loops from doing loops through the whole area. They don't want to just linger outside the brig, although you Snargle, have you heard any other prisoners out of sight but within earshot? Or are you pretty much the current only special guests of the Hand of Sorrow?
Well, funny story. I was actually being frog marched down here and was explaining to them that the commander's orders specifically said, the crew and passengers, I'm technically classified as equipment. But I did hear a slight chuckle coming from one of the nearby cells. So I think somebody is in there.
I love that. Technically classified as equipment. Are you human? No, I am a meat popsicle. So you think there's at least one other person somewhere in the cells, but otherwise, pretty. If this is a patrol ship that's meant to bring in smugglers or bring them in for questioning and so forth, they either haven't had a very good haul, or they're early on in their tour, or they've dumped people off at back at Olympia or Elysium. It's hard to say, but right now you seem to be the only going concern. The cells are open, like they're big cubes of cages. You think there's a hallway running by, or did they go by up, or do the guards march by like on the sort of the walkway that's like above the cage?
Oh, there was a walkway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a walkway up, kind of. So they can come down like steps down to like in front of the gate, but they tend to march by like up above. The captain and Naomi are in one cage, in one cell, and Snargle and it's in adjacent ones. Snargle and
The
Snargle
passenger.
and Nathan and Kale are in the other cell, immediately adjacent. So
It's adjacent in terms of the guard platform crossing between them or along that platform.
I didn't catch the first part of that sentence. Say it again.
Are they
Oh.
adjacent in terms of there's a guard platform and it's on either side of them?
No,
On
it's
either side of it? Or
so they're next to each other. Hang on. We can do a map. What's that? We have the technology for a map. It's going to be a very simple map, but it will be a map.
find the map, find the map, find the map.
Oh God.
Find the map.
Sure, why not? Share that. All right. Very, very simply draw a shape. I like that. That works. And we'll just do that. And this. And we'll do the thing. So you got your cell. You've got your adjacent cell. You've got like a thing here. Door here. Door here. And then you've got like this area. Oh, it's not going to work. Hang on. Oh, that doesn't work. I am bad at maps. There. Let those be stairs. And let it be known that those are stairs. So they can walk by like basically right right across here, up above, which is probably I'm gonna say 10 feet up, maybe 10, 11 feet up. And if they want to, they can circle back down the steps and come down to the like front of the cells. But in the day-to-day, I mean, they could just drop stuff down into the cell if they really wanted to, all that kind of stuff. So they don't have to put themselves. And then there's like, if we really want to get into this, we can say there's like an additional cell over on this side. And there's not a ton, but there's probably, I'm going to say, 2 more setups like this, where they're walking along a hallway, and below the hallway is like on a lower level, are a total of 12 cells, all along this sort of brig hallway. So if they really, really wanted to, they could probably put a, if they wanted them to be comfortable, a tenth of the population of the ship into these cells. If they don't care if they're comfortable, probably 25% of the population of the ship into the cells if they really wanted to. Maybe a little bit more. Sufficient to handle a mutiny, assuming some of the mutineers die. And there you go. What's the Hand of Sorrow look like, you say? What a fine question. I think I'll answer it. You were pulled up. Let me see if I can put that right there. How's that work? Maybe. Oops. Yikes. Go back over here to the layer and say that. Put it here. Oh, come on. Oh, I see. I'm drawing. Technology is hard. Oops. Are you kidding me?
Control Z it.
Yeah. There we go. I was meaning to delete something that I can't even. So there's your Hand of Sorrow. It's not a pretty ship, but at least it's really ugly and big. So there. Might be easier to move if I'm actually on the right screen. Anyway. So, guards going by. Naomi tense. What's she look to other people? How she behave inside of these surroundings? Caged tiger, completely at ease. I'm going to kill you all.
Given that I'm not in the same cell as my principal, probably doing something of the caged tiger thing, in addition to all the other stresses.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, stop doing that. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say I wanted to also be sort of, though I'm trying to be aware of what's both the comings and goings of the guards, but also looking at the cells, their construction, doors, waiting, strengths, things like that.
Well, you know, without a doubt, that you could break this door open without any problem whatsoever. You could open it, and then you could open your boss's, Nathan's. You could open his again, no problem. Could you do it quietly enough that every guard?
That's where you go after that.
Yeah. Where do you go after that? And could you open it without every guard every guard and/or soldier within 3 decks hearing the clang? Possibly, but it's a lot harder. So, that's maybe good information for people to have, but yeah, if you want it out is no problem. Out without raining down hellfire upon your heads is a whole different ball of wax. Nathan, how are you? What are you doing? Kale's kind of talking like in murmurs to the captain. We haven't gotten to that conversation yet. And Snargle's what's Snargle doing? I want to tell you what's in your cell. What's Snargle doing?
Snargle is carefully watching the other people in the cells to see if he can pick up what they are thinking and what their plan is. He's got a couple of ideas, but you can't really talk out loud about your escape plan when there's guards listening.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nonverbal parsing.
Yeah, a lot of facial expressions. And humans are tricky with their facial expressions. They kind of use the same ones over and over again. It's really weird. It's so much easier to just change your face, like really change it to express the appropriate anger. Okay, so you've got a very attentive-looking goblin watching everybody. Kale kind of murmuring to the captain. And what are you doing or saying? Are you talking to Naomi or whatever? This is to Nathan. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I am probably sticking with my cover. Speaking of, is the Nathan's.
Nathan Siri is sort of your cover.
Okay, so that is my cover.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's a very easy to remember cover because then the first name's actually right. Because that's the hard part for somebody undercover to remember. You've been coached on that. So Nathan's your name, Siri is not.
Okay, so I'm actually Nathan Blackbird.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort
kinda.
of. Well, Blackbird's a title. It's like the name of the house.
Nathan Lord Blackbird.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, in that
Lord
case,
is my middle name.
Lord is my middle name.
Yes.
I'll let you guess why. Is it because you're Lord? Yes. Anyway.
yes. So I'm probably like just trying to keep my cover. I was just a passenger here. I'm never going to use your services again. That sort of thing. Just sort of putting up the no, we're perfectly normal. I don't know why you would have picked this up.
Oh, okay. So are you loudly laying the blame on the misunderstanding on the, well, I shouldn't say loudly. Are you laying the blame on the soldiers as they're going by in protest, or are you laying it on the captain as like a performance for the passing soldiers as you go by, like you're arguing with the captain, that sort of thing?
Oh, I think that's a performance. So it's kind of like, why could we have not, why couldn't I have gone with a more reputable looking ship's captain? I mean, you have a goblin. No one trusts those things. Why would?
Are you blaming Naomi for recommending these people, or something
No.
like that, or no? Well,
No, she's just blaming me. He's just blaming me.
oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. Well, just basically.
I'm giving the captain the stink eye.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
Everybody is.
Now,
Yeah,
the question.
I imagine if they can, if like the captain can see me, if
Oh yeah, it's just
Vance can see me.
it's open bars between you guys. Like it's just a wall of bars.
I'm probably doing it with sort of like this little mirthy smile as I'm doing it, so they, so she can tell there's no actual bile behind what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's what as soon as the guards come by, it's more like hot, wild gestures and that sort of thing. I will never get back to, I'll never get back to Haven at this point.
So you get this whole spiel kind of started as the guards are going by, and
Kale, it's like, and then also
Kale. Yeah, well, Kale, as soon as they're kind of walking away, Kale's like, he says something like, "How dare you impugn the captain's honor?" And he sort of like wanders off to the other side of the cell, loudly declaiming the innocence of the crew, the honor of the captain, the shadiness of both Naomi and especially this foppish. And he's just sort of, but he's not even looking at you guys. He's just sort of pacing back and forth and just la 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 la, and he is ripping fictional you a new one, but far enough away that you guys can talk through the bars.
Better than turning the shower on.
Yeah. Kale, human shower. Oh no, God no, bad mental image. So what do you do with this cover? You have, as Naomi has already noted in her prison timing, 75 to 90 breaths to speak before you need to go.
She'll actually say that.
Huh. I'll be like, so do we want to, Captain, this is your show. Do we want to try to talk our way out, or do you want us to go?
So, just so you know, Margie, if they actually run your ship's registration, it is not going to be good for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, so my preference is to depart and head on our way.
Yeah.
and leave this far behind. Maybe in a smoking wreck, but
Yeah.
at the very least, far behind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're likely to get in trouble. Also,
I'm already in trouble.
well, you're in trouble. But what was your relationship? The ship you realized as you were coming down here was commanded by a Captain Hollis. What's your history with Captain Hollis specifically? What complicated history do you
That
have with?
prick. That prick.
Is it it's
Thought he was God's gift to mankind.
oh my God, is it an ex-boyfriend? It's an
Not,
ex-boyfriend, isn't it?
oh no.
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 No, he not that he didn't try,
Oh dear.
but really.
So should we be saying
He was one of those who had the attitude that any woman would be lucky to bed him.
should we start singing about how
Yeah,
no one's more manly than Captain Hallis?
Oh.
Is that sort of what we're going for?
No drinks like Gaston. No one. I need a captain. I need a Captain Hollis now. I have the perfect cap because I have
He's a chinless wonder.
the,
He's a prick.
the chinless wonder. I love it. All right, hang on. I need a good Duke Wesselton. Hang on. I think I have him. There's he at? There. Oh, yeah. Now, to be fair, this was several years ago. He was a younger man, but not a lot younger. There we go. We'll share that over on. Well, wait for it. There we go. Let's drag that down there so we can get his true glory. There we go. There. How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason he grew a beard.
Yes, it's true. This man has no chin.
It's true. That man has no chin. So yeah, once Captain Hollis finds out, I mean, you're in trouble for a number of other reasons, but he will take personal joy in ruining your day.
Captain Prowless.
The man had the gall to rename a Navy vessel over the fact that he lost a hand in what was essentially a drinking accident. So,
That's quite the drinking accident.
Well, I mean, technically it was during a time of battle, but it was, for all intents and purposes, a drinking accident. Don't let him actually hear you say that.
Yeah.
When you go for those bottles of champagne with the saber, you really need to be not holding them.
So he used to be a noble, and he was going to try something. He said, "Hold my peerage," and that's.
Oh.
You're supposed to be looking for laughs, not groans.
No, I'm the only one that groaned. I don't technically count as a player. Oh my God, that was terrible. I think probably Bill can mark an XP for that. It's terrible though. Oh my God. An XP with a mark of shame.
You started it.
An XP with an asterisk of shame next to it. Okay, so you're able to kind of quickly make a few notes here. So Captain Hollis, it's bad if the Admiralty finds out that you're in custody. It's as bad or worse if this particular captain finds out you're in his brig. So yeah, departure would be excellent. How do you want to go about accomplishing that? Naomi, are you also sharing that you could get the doors open if you really wanted to?
I can get us out of these cells if need be, but beyond there, it will be a fight.
Nathan, you know that she has a absolutely just it is truly, and you're saying this as somebody with the kind of background that you have. It's truly frightening what she can do with her hands.
So she has the strength of 5 women or 10 men or 2 bears, whichever metric you prefer.
It's not so much the strength; it's the fact that her hands don't break when they really ought to. She really, honestly, it's like having human hands that work like sledgehammers. It's just shocking, but they're not quiet, so you do know that as well.
Well, we could get the guards' attention, and you guys could batter them.
You could what? Batter them?
Batter them.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get?
There's a couple options. I mean, you could kind of distract them. You could break your way out. You could try to quietly break your way out.
Taking down.
Wait! This is stupid.
I can go for that.
This is stupid.
Yes.
Why am I inside the cell still?
Well,
there's no reason for me to be here.
That's true. However, you can. Well, I guess you can get out the people that you can touch. What is the limit on that move?
One, I think.
Is it one? I'll have to look at it.
Let me see.
Actually, what I need to do first.
It's you or someone you're touching.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a challenge.
Well, but all we really need to do is get Naomi outside the bars, and
well, she can
take care of the rest.
Well, she can get out. Getting her outside of the bar. She makes just as much noise getting in as she does getting out.
Let's see.
I was going to say, if you just want the guards distracted, that's not hard at this point.
No. I mean, technically, Nathan, you've got the ability. I mean, this is all metal. If you can protect yourself fairly well, you can really ruin their day pretty quickly as they're walking by overhead.
So, quick question: How many guards are we talking about?
There's only 2 patrolling past here right now. There are more than that on the ship.
I'm sorry, I missed your first word.
There's only 2 sort of patrolling by right here. Call them like they're sort of.
Do we have a sense of what the overall crew would be?
I should know that.
Yeah, you should know that. Probably in terms of actual soldiery, there's probably, I'm going to say 120 Marines aboard. Then there's sailors and that sort of thing. These guys aren't technically, well, they're probably soldiers, but currently they're functioning as, basically like shipboard MPs, of which
rats.
There's probably 12 of those, all told at any given time, unless there's some need to draft more. So there's a ton. I mean, it's a big ship. The trick would be, and there's also aside from that, you've got probably an equal number of sailors, and probably a quarter as many engineers that are just sort of dealing with the engine rooms and all the other kind of stuff. And while you guys talk, I got to answer a phone call real quick and let you guys sort of ruminate on the plan. I'll be right back.
So, I think the first question is, where is the ship, and how do we disable things here so that we can get away? Because they'll just catch us again if we don't disable this ship.
Yeah, but we got to get out of the cages too, right? Before we do any of that stuff, boss. Come on.
I'm not worried about getting out of the cage.
When we're ready to go, I can get us out.
Oh, there's so many ways this could go wrong.
Brave Sir Robin, bravely ran away.
2 sides of the same coin.
Well, we should be able to disable the engines, or at least gum them up a little bit. But they're going to come after us if we make a break for it, and they're going to know we're guilty.
Exactly.
We're just going to slow them down a little bit. We could also mess with their communication. Like, the only reason I think we're still breathing is they haven't heard back from whoever.
But yeah, it sounds like pretty good plan.
Communication is secret.
Okay, so sorry, I'm looking at everybody's traits to see which makes the best synergy. So I should be able to leverage my knowledge of this style of ship sort of the SOPs of imperial warships to get us to the best places in the least visible amount of time. I think the two points we need to, where's the ship, where's the owl, and where's, like you say, I think communications or nav. What we really need is a big steampunk equivalent of an EMP.
Steam MP.
Exactly.
Just
Stampy.
A gigantic valve that we just stick in the steam engine and open. Yeah.
So every time Joyce says your name, instead of hearing snargle, I'm hearing snuggle. Which
Well, Joyce and I have a relationship going back a long way, you know.
All right. So I think the Marines are going to be all in one part of the ship. If we can prevent them from, joining the fray, we should be good. Looking at our,
I'm definitely punching out some Marines.
I'm sure you are.
Just as an idea here, I figure Snargle's probably best for the engines. I can probably do something about the communications.
I will note that all of us have sneaky as a tag.
I don't have it yet. It's in brackets for me, so I don't have it yet.
Ah.
Okay, so we'll put brackets around you while you sneak around the ship. We'll be fine.
Hold my brackets.
You have a potential for sneaky.
Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, I can still do the whole cunning sneak.
Oh yeah, you are certainly a cunning monkey. You have the capacity to sneak.
I was just noting that we all had sneaky as a tag, with the exception of my lord.
Well, no, he can certainly clip along with
I have the capability.
I would say, if nothing else, you can limp along with cunning. I don't know that you necessarily have any tags underneath of that, but you certainly have cunning to get you.
Brute cunning.
I was about to say, no, it's going to be like cunning and misdirection. It's like, they're over there.
And deception.
Yeah.
Maybe disguise.
Yeah.
And a little dance.
I'll just get into one of their outfits.
Yeah, disguise wouldn't be. Disguise wouldn't. You scream, officer material. I mean, really, it's actually kind of. I mean, could be considered either hot or annoying depending on who you are and who's looking at you.
I just have the chin for it, unlike a certain captain.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
So you guys were talking about stealth stuff. What was the upshot of what kind of plan do you have?
So
electrocute everybody and try not to kill everybody in the cell? No?
It involves hitting people a lot.
Let me just run this past you really quick. We get we distract the guards, we knock them out, we steal their clothes. A couple of us go to the communications, a couple of us go to the engine room, and then we meet up at the Owl.
So Kale will immediately go, okay, I'm with you on engine room. I think I see where you're going there. Communications? ?
To stop word getting back.
Oh, is that
word going out?
You don't want word. You want word going out that
we escaped.
Okay. So communications, communications and engine room. Is anybody going to the ship while that's happening, or is you're just Snargle can go to ship?
No,
I shouldn't speak for Snargle.
I got drafted for doing the engines.
Sorry, I'm getting one more phone call. You got
It's
drafted for
either-
the engines. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
either
think-
that
I
or
think-
you can do the heroic, escape. Hopefully, with the rest of us.
Well, actually, it looks like Kale can help with the whole escape thing quite easily. My first mate has some valuable life lessons that may come into play in here.
Man, see, I was just going to start a fight.
Of course you were.
I say it'd be
I'm
funny.
sure there'll be plenty of fighting later.
No, I mean, like, just a fight between me and Kale to, like, get the guards distracted so that somebody can bonk him on the back of the head.
Ah,
We have been arguing.
Extensively. Okay.
so which team is going where?
I would say Kale and Snargle should be going towards the engines.
Yes, ma'am.
Naomi, I'm assuming you want to go with his lordship to communications.
Yes.
And then I can join either party, or I could start preparing the owl to depart. What do you guys think? No thoughts. Okay.
I was about to say it could go either way with that one. Although,
Okay.
if you led the one to the engine room, you are an ex-Imperial soldier. You would probably look, rather fitting in a uniform yourself.
That is true, and I know how to give an order.
Nathan, do you know how to get to the wireless?
I'm sure I can figure it out.
I can tell him where
Right.
to expect it. I have faith in him.
Of course.
And we all fall silent as the guards trail past.
And Margie is like the best source of XP for you.
Someone pulls out a harmonica.
Well, I think we're all going to be hitting keys here. You too.
I'm actually going to be right back real quick.
Hmm. I was just thinking. It might
Now we're in
be
trouble.
Yeah, very. Because it might be a good idea for Snargle to go to the ship. For two reasons. One, expediting our exit is always good. But two,
Yes.
we do need fuel.
Good of you to remember that, Snargle. So S-Man, you think you can do both those things?
He
You
stepped
are
away.
also the easiest to move. You are also the
No.
easiest to move through.
Bill
Oh.
stepped away for a little bit.
Sorry. Right. Sorry. I'm not used to what voice goes to what character yet.
Okay, I'm back.
We made
Snargle,
decisions for you.
damn it. Snargle can definitely go refuel the ship. I'm a little concerned with the implication that he will be acting as the fuel. But yeah.
Well, we're on a big Imperial vessel. They've got to have like fuel reserves. Let's hope they don't have fighter pilot or fighter ships inside here.
Well, this may be an Imperial vessel, but we take metric fuel. This is not going to work.
The puns are just gonna be
Ba-dum-bum.
horrible here.
It's also you are the easiest to move through.
I'm sorry, guys. That was my daughter went on what was supposed to be a quick hike out into the greenbelt, and if you're
It's never quick.
it was with the friend's dad and the friend, and it was supposed to be like 20 minutes, and that was an hour and a half ago, and
Oh,
she just now got back into cell range, so her mom's just kind of staying in touch, letting me know daughter's finally in touch again, finally heading home. She has swim practice at 6:45 in the morning. So, yeah. And it's not really on her. It's, the other parent asked, is an hour and a half okay? And was specifically told no, and then they went anyway. So, yay. Just had to get a couple updates. All right, so we'll lop all that out of the take it out on the editing.
So the owl,
Anyway,
the owl
what's
is
actually happening? The owl is safe and it's flying.
the owl is pulling away from the hand of sorrow.
Sorry. All right.
smoke billowing from the back.
Given this extra
Smoke
time,
pointing in the back.
given this extra time that we've had, I am assuming that you guys have a perfect plan now. Yes? No?
Absolutely
Yes.
perfect.
All right. So first
We
step.
kill them and move on.
First step. You're in the cell. How do you fix that?
I'm waiting for a distraction.
Okay, distraction. So once the guards kind of like step away for a second, I'm just gonna walk up to Kale while he's like, continuing on his blah 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 blah,
Right.
and I'm just gonna be like, tap him on the shoulder really quick, and be like,
Really? Like he's kind of like, is it my birthday? Kind of look on his face.
yeah, and so it's like, wait, and then
He looks like he enjoyed this way too much. And there's no way, shape, or form a stage punch. Dirty, filthy, merchant, noble scum. Whack! And then he starts kicking like a mattress or something. Just like, I'm gonna break every rib in your digging it. You hear
I'm shaking on the bars to the door to my cell, shouting, "Guard! Guard!"
So
He's killing him.
he's killing. Okay. So, all right. Where is?
Thank the gods you two paid in advance.
So, Nathan,
Uh-huh.
Nathaniel, I like that. Just I want to see what kind of goal, how duped these guys are.
Okay. So
A
I'm
dice
gonna
plus cunning plus deception
plus
plus
misdirection.
misdirection. So that's
So
4.
that's
Can I
Kale,
aid that? Because with my
yes, you can
histrionics.
absolutely. So what you do, just get rid of one of those cards because you basically give one of your pool dice over to.
and so do I.
So does who?
So do I. I'm spending one.
Oh, you're spending one as well. So that gets you up to 6 dice.
Yeah.
That gets you up to about 6. So there you
Uh-huh.
go. Roll dice, and we'll see.
And 7.
Ooh, that is a solid 5 successes. That is well and truly. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That is well and truly duped in terms of the cards. Why do we have 3 cards out?
Oh, because I spent 2.
Oh, you spent 2. You rolled 7. I see. I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Dave, yeah.
Dave spent 1. Gotcha. I didn't realize you were using up 2 of yours. Very nice. 5 successes on 7 dice is actually a hell of a good roll. So they're in such a rush, and you hear one of them. It's like, oh crap, he's going after the rich one, and they come pelting down the stairs. They're like, one of them's already fumbling for the keys. You there, get back! And one of them's like, pulls out. He's got like an in-ship carbine, like it's a little short number. And he's kind of got up through the bars there, and the guy's kind of scrambling, and he's Kale kind of backs away, looking sullen and kind of like this kind of thing. The guy opens up the gate, and as he steps in, the other guy brings the gun up to port arms because field of fire, all that kind of stuff. The other guy rushes over towards Nathan. So he's in the cell with Snargle, Kale, Nathan. Nathan's on the floor. He's rushing over to him. The other guy's just outside. Snargle, what do you do? Or Nathan, what do you do? Who wants this first?
I'm letting Nathan do this.
Okay. All right.
Oh, kitty.
And I think this is like the play dead sort of thing, where it's like, stop breathing, stop everything, get their attention.
Get their full attention.
Yeah, get their full attention. That no, he might have actually just killed this guy. Hopefully, because
you can absolutely sell that. That role is complete misdirection. Is like,
hopefully because Naomi had already been breaking through the bars to come up behind him while they were opening the door.
Well, that may not be quiet, but okay. So the guy he rolls you over and he swears just aloud because you got the blood on your face, the good welt and everything, but the way your head rolls is like, Christ, I think he. Well, he doesn't say that, but
I'm still screaming.
Yeah, I think he killed him. Get in here. Get in here. And he's motioning. The other guy is like and he sets down the gun, like leans it up against the bar across the way, and comes in there like, we've got to get him to the infirmary or something.
No. Whose
That's
cell
when I
is
punch
across
open
the
the
way?
door.
What's that? That's when you pop open the door.
Whose cell is across the way?
That's when I punch open the door.
The cell across the way doesn't have anybody in it. He's just leaning up against the wall over there. Okay, so do you want to open it or try to open it without being very noisy? There's already some shouting and stuff, so it may not be an issue.
There's shouting and stuff going on. Their focus is on Nathan. They're in the cell. I can punch this door open and grab the carbine before they can get to it. Especially if the others continue to distract them.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that whatsoever. Let me just. Oh, here we go. All right. So the door is no problem. Getting to the gun is no problem. They're not unarmed, though. So,
But when I point the gun at them,
well, it's a question of timing and stuff like that. Because again, you're coming through in a way that, I mean, it's going to raise. This is, I mean, you're taking a sledgehammer to the door of your cell. It's going to alert them that something is up. So I'm not having you roll necessarily on the. I mean, the opening. That's not something you really roll on. My question is, do you take them out like real quickly, or how that works exactly? This would probably.
I'm not sure that I can get into the cell and punch them out before they can react, unless Kale and Snargle do something to distract them.
Okay. Well, they could help. They could certainly help.
They can help punch.
They can help with. They can throw helping dice at that thing. Okay. Here's the thing.
Well then,
Taking them out, you need like 3 successes. However, if you can manage 5 successes, then you could probably clear most of the Marines out of this section of the ship. What do you think?
I can absolutely so do that.
Okay, so
Because
start figuring out dice.
I know. Okay.
I can pitch some dice towards that as well.
Okay.
I am going to pitch some dice towards that as well.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
You can only help with a dice.
I know,
but yeah, I mean, other people can help. So Naomi, so the first thing you do is you just punch right on the lock nut because the thing just busts right open. Door slams open. As that happens, and the one closest to Nathan starts to turn. Nathan, what do you do?
I think that's where I suddenly open my eyes. I wrap both my legs around him in sort of a leg lock, and just sort of hold him in place so that Naomi has enough time to get there.
Okay.
With one of them tied up, so that will be my die.
Snargle, what do you do when the whole thing begins to happen?
I'm going to say I'm going to suddenly leap at their faces, teeth and claws bared, and basically bounce off them. I'm not clawing and hurting,
right?
But just giving that sudden non-human sort of scare to these guys.
Yes, exactly. And you happen to have a tag under your sly of distractions.
Yep.
In some cases, it's bat-faced hooligan right in your face. That's a couple dice there.
Okay.
Yes, Captain.
Can I join in on this game too?
Yes, absolutely. It doesn't sound like Naomi's going for the rifle. Just FYI, throwing that out there.
No, I was gonna indicate for her to kick it towards me.
Okay.
And then I can cover any incoming Marines.
Okay.
I did want to go for the rifle, but
frankly, you're far more dangerous with your fists than you are with
an
actual gun.
How do I move my card, or do you do that?
I think you just click
on the card.
Left click on the card, and then just drag one out of the cards you have just out onto the thing.
I see. Yeah. But the cards themselves don't mean anything.
Nope, they're meaningless. Doesn't matter which ones you do. They're just a token. It's mostly to keep that counter above your head.
Okay.
Going right. Okay, so Naomi comes raging into the around sort of in this turn. Captain's just following her right there and snags the rifle really quick. Let's see what this looks like. So, Naomi has 1 dice. Where are we at here? Let me see what we got. Naomi has 1 dice. Pit fighter, combat tested, brutal.
Yep.
Living weapon. Oh my God, all of it? Fast? Hard?
I think all of those apply to my barreling into that cell and
That's hilarious.
Punching the living shit out of these guys.
So that's 7 dice plus 3
Yeah.
for helping for 10.
And
I
I'm
was gonna say,
gonna
if we could add more.
I'm gonna throw in. Can I throw in 3 cards?
You can throw in as many. Yeah, you can throw in as many cards out of your pool.
Well,
as
I know I'm gonna get. I know I'm gonna get 3 back from this.
You're gonna
Tapping my keys.
Oh, if you take them as if you take them as dice back in your pool, then yeah, you can definitely get them back. You can get them as XP. Key of the Guardian, Key of the Vengeance, Key of the Warrior. That's hilarious. Yeah, you can actually get all of your keys in one shot. That's pretty funny.
This was an excellent plan.
This is an excellent plan. Rush them and kill and beat the crap out of them.
So 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 3 is 13. How many successes did you need? Did you say I need, Mike?
You need 5 to basically take out everybody in this sort of section of the ship, which I will kind of.
I think with 13 I can probably do that.
Well, yeah, unless your dice are really bad. And hey, upside, if you don't succeed, you get your pool dice back. So, and you get an extra one.
And we get ours back.
I'm not sure if that's true. I think the helping.
Yeah, we do.
Do you? All right. So if you fail,
Nope.
the pool dice don't go. The pool dice don't go away. So yay, hooray! But yeah, 5 successes.
Shall I roll this thing?
I think you should roll those 13 dice and see where that goes. I'm nervous. Should I be nervous? I'm nervous. I think 9 will do.
9.
I think we did fine.
Nice. Wow, look at that. Nothing below a 3.
That is disturbing. Okay.
Do
So
we own the ship now?
oh, you don't own the ship. It's in this section of the ship.
It's a drifting ghost ship.
All right.
No, we are very good at this game.
Yeah, we're very, very good at this. Naomi, you can take them as 3 XP or 3 refreshing them because there's other ways to refresh your pool. And that's feeding them back into your pool that's neither here nor there. With 5 XP, you can actually pick up new tags and things like that. So that may be.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take them as XP.
Okay. I know how much of a fan you are of those of games where you have to choose with are my points going to become XP or become short-term bennies? The painful choice.
I'm hoping just being a little meta here that we've accomplished most of what I'm going to need to do on the ship before we can do a refresh.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. We'll see how that plays out, considering you guys want to split up and take out 2 other sections of the ship. Okay, so so basically Naomi comes in. Hang on, I got. I want to see what Lord Blackbird is typing here. Sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give you. It'd be mean to give you injured. How about shaken? Can you?
I was about to say, I'll take injured. I probably have like a black eye at this point.
All right, take injured then. I'm fine.
I was about to say, hell, I might have he might have actually knocked out a tooth.
All right. I just sent you a whisper.
So from the very beginning of this, is this like all Key of the Outcast for me then?
Key of the Outcast. Yeah, every 5 minutes or so of gameplay, you just get another XP. It's just a constantly ticking thing. Key of the Outcast. You get exile from the Empire. Hit your key when your Outcast status causes you trouble or is important in a scene. I will give you 1 for this series. I'll give you another one if somebody screws up and the captain of the ship becomes involved in this whole thing, because I'll throw another one in there.
Nice. Nice.
Okay. Who came up with this plan, incidentally?
That would be the captain.
That would be the captain, so you can hit key of the commander too, since you gave orders and they were essentially obeyed. All right, so Naomi, what does this look like when you come storming into this? I mean, also
like the wrath of God.
The angry wrath of God. And I gotta see what.
Keeping track of the hits, by the way.
Say it again. Who's keeping track of what hits? What was that?
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm keeping track of this.
Oh, you can just edit the character sheet and throw them in at the
Okay.
bottom or something like that. That's fine.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was a planned
I don't have
spot.
a good. There's no good. I don't have an actual character sheet for this, and I was not going to hack together a proper character sheet with.
That's fine.
A 2
I just added it to the attributes.
Perfect. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's a good place. I should have done that. Mike, did you see my text?
I did. I was just waiting for the right time.
Okay, so Naomi comes storming in like the wrath of God, preparing to basically punch through the chest of a number of individuals. Either Mike or Dave can pick up that sentence from where I left off the ellipses.
And does so.
And does so. do you literally punch through the chest? Like, how ugly is this? I mean, how horrified
Disturbing?
and or terrified should the rest of the crew be of you when you're done with this?
Yes.
With the two people in this area. Okay.
Yes.
So
I
really
basically takes them out in as brutal fashion. Well, I'd use the brutal tag as possible.
Okay.
Given that they're A,
threatening
my
principal,
B, they're Imperials, and C, I've been locked up.
So it is like after Naomi probably just comes in comes in with all of her weight on a punch on the side of one of their heads. Probably I'm still there holding the one. It's tut tut Naomi, no need to get into further trouble with these folks by killing their men. They'll come after us hard for that. As I push the other one towards you.
Yeah, that sounds like encouragement.
You might have to try harder, Nathan.
But
if you've been pushed over to me,
I do the same thing.
I'm going to try to intervene real quick. Be like, hey, we just need to knock him out. It's okay. It's okay.
Do you really want them coming after these people so badly? Yeah, and I'm going to point over towards them. It's like, this will end badly for them.
They're not going to come after us any less vigorously for leaving them unconscious.
Oh, I think they'll
Guarantee.
They tend to frown on permanent damage.
Yeah, trust me. If their friend, these people's friends will come after us with a vengeance.
That doesn't sound
like a bad thing.
They're down. Let's just go. Come on. I promise there will be other people to hurt.
Well, I don't know that there are any people left here to hurt if there's just the two of them.
No, this is you can. There's other guards in the area. That's the whole clearing out other parts of the ship. This is literally the first clause of a longer paragraph of pummeling that can happen throughout this section of the ship.
Just think of your rage like butter. There's a lot of bread, and you can just spread it around real good. Nobody likes that one pat of butter right there on the corner of the bread. Nice even layer, okay? Even spread it out.
So, I think that's.
I have a lot of butter.
This is the weirdest. This is the weirdest intervention I have ever seen.
I think that's the time when Lord Blackbird kind of puts his hand on Naomi's shoulder, and for a second, probably she turns one bloodthirsty eye towards him. Is let us not stoop down to their level. We are better than that.
Look, I'm a sailor. I'm good with knots and gags. I'll take care of these people. I'll make sure they don't get out. So it's okay.
So you're asking her not to kill them?
Yeah.
Is that the gist of it? I was asking Nathan in this case.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that was the. Let's not stoop down to their level.
Snargle is probably also please don't kill them.
Snargle don't need this.
Well, if I haven't
I love that.
If I haven't actually killed these two already, I will restrain myself. If I have, I will restrain myself for the others that are in the area.
Okay. And with that, she basically just there's a kind of running that you can do in a prison environment like this. It's a run, but it's also kind of a shuffle. It looks really weird unless somebody is coming straight at you. Conscience plus, that's awesome. It's true. I don't know if everybody appreciated your butter analogy, but it looks kind of funny, but it's sort of this shuffling kind of thing that you're doing with your feet that just races you, and she just sort of vanishes into the walkways and stuff up above. Occasionally, you hear a thump or a Wilhelm scream, echoing. A Wilhelm scream violently cut off.
So is this the part where when we're walking out, like all of us but Naomi, it's like the Raining Man scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
It's not quite that bad, but
it's close.
It's certainly you keep finding bodies, like you keep finding people laying in. I mean, and to be fair, she doesn't kill them, but this is kind of like telling the Terminator not to kill anybody in the second.
They were
Terminator.
all bad.
And he just kneecaps them with the shotgun. Yeah.
So they're not dead, but most of them are going to have to like dictate their letters home for a really long time.
The ones without broken jaws.
The ones without broken jaws. The ones without broken collarbones. None of them are getting out with just like a benign clubbing into unconsciousness.
Except for Expedient.
If there are a lot of them, I might just incapacitate quickly.
Where were you guys splitting up to, and who was splitting in the various directions?
Snargle's going back to prep and refuel.
Snargle's going back to prep and refill. Perfect. Refuel.
Nathaniel and Naomi are going to the communications room.
Okay. So as soon as she's easy to track down once you know that you need to look for her, which is basically like you just look for. You head away from the ones that are groaning, and head for the ones that are much quieter, because the groaning only happens after a certain period of time. The ones that are truly, truly, truly unconscious are the fresher ones. And then Kale and the captain are heading to... Kale can get the ship going if you want to do it that way and have the NPC sort of get the ship going. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill. That's interesting. Okay, cool.
If you don't want to play with it, that's fine.
That's I'm going to think about that. I think that's just fine. I think it is just fine. I think we should do that. What was I going to say? All right. Tagging key of the Paragon again for the speechifying. Okay, sure. I rely on you guys. I'm not going to be able to keep track of everybody's keys, so you should absolutely let me know as you're tagging them and carry on your merry way. Okay, so the captain and is it Kale or Snargle that's going?
Kyle.
Kale?
Well, that would leave Kale going to
the ship
engineering by himself.
Well, no. What I mean is, who's going? You're going to engineering. Who's going with you? That's the question.
Kale.
Kale. All right. Kale's going with you. The idea there to, in some way, shape, or form, disable the ship. that the general idea?
Right, and we may not even have to go all the way to engineering. My thought is that there's a couple of key conduits, between here and there that we might be able to disable sufficiently to,
Right. All right.
put her out of commission for long enough to get away.
All right. Let's have you.
Because I don't don't want to be separated too long.
Just punch some holes in some steam tubes. I'm sure it'll work out for the best.
Naomi's.
I'm sure Kale will know which steamy tubes.
He's all about that kind of dangerous stuff. So, Snargle.
Now I just need to find him a really big wrench.
Snargle, if you can go through your tags and sort of figure out how many you should probably be rolling just to kind of sneak your way through. And let me know if you're doing anything weird, like working through the air ducts or something like that as a snake-like thing, anything like that, because that's certainly, you could probably pull in multiple attributes if you're doing something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So let me know how that goes. Target number is not particularly high because you're a little fella, and the alarm hasn't been raised at this point. Anybody who could raise it is going to need their own raising first. So the captain, no, Nathan and Naomi are making their way to the communications thing, and for that, I think the captain is sort of trailing along. Well, no, we haven't had Nathan roll. Captain, assume Kale is helping you with one dice. Figure out your sneakiness, and you could probably bring in a tag or two from. Actually, we'll work you first because you're maybe a little bit more complicated. So sneaking through the ship. Imperial warships. Sneak. Hide. Sneak. Oh, and also the actual things it's coming from. So smuggler. So you'd be rolling like 5 dice plus Kales for a total of 6, probably, to work your way back to the back of the ship. Your target number is 3. So if you want to throw another dice in out of your pool or something like that, I'll just take one off of my own to track Kale's extra help.
Okay.
So do you want to throw in another dice out of your pool, or what do you want to do there? Okay. All right. All right, so that's rolling 7 dice. You can just click that and roll for your sneaking. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll, and I'll ask questions after.
Sorry, got to get to the right spot here.
Yep.
Oh, wait, it's down at the bottom.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom. You don't have to get to the character sheets for this one. Sort of hacking my way through it as we go.
Ow!
That's okay. That's all you needed was 3. There's a close moment where you
not a lot of grace to this.
No, there's a close moment where like you're kind of stuck in a weird, like, weird kind of. It looks like you're basically having like 2 groups of guys that are going to be kind of converging on where you are, and you basically like go, okay, there's got to be an access panel. And you basically like shove the 2 of you back into an access panel / broom closet kind of space. Let them go by. It's not comfortable, but it works. You weren't looking forward to figuring out how to fake your way, as an Imperial soldier again when you are clearly not dressed appropriately for the.
Well, I was going to say, since Naomi got blood all over the uniforms, we couldn't really steal them.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But you're working your way backwards. The problem in engineering is all the way in the back of the ship, and the hangar that you need to pick up the other ship from, or pick up the owl from, is like all the way in the front. Speaking of which, Snargle, what are you doing? How are you moving your way forward towards the front of the ship?
Okay. So as mentioned, I do want to make a quick detour to see who else
Oh,
was in
right.
that cell.
That is a
And I'm going to grab keys off the guards if they have spares.
that is a lanky human, kind of long hair, looks, well, I don't know, kind of got a hippie look to him. He's not dressed in any kind of military fashion whatsoever. He looks like he's dressed in sort of like, basic commoner clothes. And he's sitting. He's not dressed like any kind of monk or anything like that, but he's sort of sitting cross-legged right in the middle of the cell. Doing a little like, fingers and little loops kind of thing. You think he might be humming to himself under his breath, but at the same time, he's not, like I said, not dressed like a monk or anything like that. So you don't know exactly what's going on there. And he's,
Hey there.
hello, little one. I heard you earlier. You seem to be departing this fine vessel.
Oh yeah, we're making the express departure pretty soon.
I was wondering if you were looking for another boon companion. I would be. I find what I have heard of your companionship to be quite entertaining, and would love to partake in more of it if the opportunity arose.
Grand. Well, I'm not as familiar with your skills. Maybe you can fill me in.
Well, I'm a seeker of enlightenment. I am a I have been wandering the vastness of the wild blue now for some time, and I've worked many dock jobs and things of that nature. I'm perfectly willing to help out if a strong back is required. I eat very little. I would very much like to see more of the beauties of the wild blue as opposed to my current surroundings. Please.
Grand. And as I put the key in the lock, I ask him, "But how quietly can you seek enlightenment?"
I don't need to do any seeking right now. I can focus all of my inner energies on moving as quickly and quietly as necessary. Are we leaving?
We are leaving.
I would be pleased to learn more about you at a later time when conversation is more appropriate.
Spectacular.
I am Everett, and he extends sort of a long-fingered, bony hand out to you.
Snargle, pleased to meet you.
Snargle, charming. After you, Snargle, my good man.
Yeah, and just so you know, it's Snargle with a D. A lot of people get that wrong.
I'll make a note. Snargle with. Oh, okay. Yes. After you. Okay. So some shapeshifting may not be in order if you're planning on keeping Everett with you. And the amusing thing about this is Snargle's the only person in this group that I'm not thinking, oh, you're just having Everett along so you can provide a appropriate distraction while you make your way to the ship. You're actually going to try and help this guy. So
yeah,
that makes things that much more. We're adding cheer and we to the party. No. Oh, you wish. Okay.
Can dream.
Can dream. Okay, so how is Snargle making his way to the? Look at that. He does have teeth and claws. Look at those teeth and claws on there.
Oh yeah.
Sly, crafty, sneaky, distractions.
So I'm going for crafty, sneaky distractions and bluff, and here's how that works.
Oh, bluff. Okay, I want to hear this.
Outside of the prison cells, there's going to be other sailors, professionals aboard.
Uh-huh.
But this whole ship is going to be held together pretty much by the same things that hold the owl together. Power distribution, liquids, pressure, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some lines, there's going to be some conduits, there's going to be some regular maintenance, and I'm going to go loosen some opportune bolts.
Okay.
I am going to find the nearest voice pipe or speaking tube and let people know that there was a blowout in the prison area.
Okay.
And that we need to get a maintenance crew down there real fast.
Radiation leak, very dangerous. Steam leak, very dangerous.
And I'm just going to ask them just to confirm which section are you boys coming through, just so I can make sure that the pressure doors are open for you.
Okay.
Because that means they won't be there when I sneak through.
Exactly. Okay. All right. I love it. I like all these things. So you're asking for like an engineering crew to come down. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. And that perfect. If you want, because you wouldn't necessarily know this ship, but you are a sky sailor. You do know signals and the Empire. So do you want to radio to the hangar and pull in like engineers from that area, like the direction, or no?
If I know enough to pull it off, then yes.
Yeah, I mean these are like the speaking tubes kind of thing, so you can kind of flip different caps, and they're all kind of labeled, so you can kind of get, well, there's nothing labeled hangar, but there's one that's like, well, this has got to be right next to the hangar. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to have it anywhere else on the ship, so you can kind of flip that up and call it. All right, so let's have so sly, crafty, sneaky, plus the 1 dice, so that's 4. Target number's 3. Do you want to throw some pool dice in there?
I'm going to throw 3 pool dice out.
So that's 7. Rolling 7.
So wait, 4 tags plus 1 die plus the trait, right?
So 1, sly, crafty, sneaky, distractions. 1 dice, sly, crafty, sneaky, distractions. 1, 2, 3. That's 8 dice. Sorry.
Hey, there's a bluff there too. What?
Oh, there is a. Well, I did sly. Oh, wait, 1 dice, sly, crafty, sneaky, distractions, bluff. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 9 dice. You're correct. You just keep adding it on there. Naomi Bishop snorts like that. Thank God you had 9. Holy crap. So the hardest thing,
the Force was with you. You were one with the Force.
The hardest thing for Snargle when trying to pass as a human is not is using personal pronouns. I'm just going to drop this on you as now a thing that Bill has to deal with going forward. Snargle, it's the way Goblinese is structured is referring to yourself in the second person, and having to say things like I. So you can do it, but there's always like a pause, like we need assistance here. I will open the. There's always like these weird pauses as you're like, God, I don't want to say, am I a they or an I? Freaking genders and stupid. I
have a unique name. Why are we using these generic terms?
Exactly. It's so ridiculous.
I would say dehumanizing, but freaking.
I don't know if you should get it.
So degoblinizing.
It's degoblinizing.
It's degoblinizing.
I'll take XP for the key of the Daredevil if you'll give me that.
Thrive in dangerous situations. You do something cool. It's okay. It's not quite cool yet.
Okay.
But I do like that. Yeah. So the hardest thing really is just plus. It's bad enough that they've got pronouns instead of using proper names for everything all the time, but they use different kinds for different genders, which for a goblin is like, what? Why? Because you're a shapeshifter. I mean, what there is. I mean, even if they had pronouns, it would be a pointless endeavor to have anything other than like they, them, it. Fluid doesn't even come into it. All right. So, but you do manage it, and basically you open up because of them registering that they're going to be going and doing this. The fact that the doors are open doesn't register, doesn't raise any red flags. So you basically have to wait for them to go rushing past you, and you can basically follow that trail right back up the other direction and get. They're not at the hangar, but very close to the hangar, and from there you can basically come in on like a catwalk that's looking down from about, I'm gonna say, like 2 levels up down into the hangar area. This is like the non-combat hangar, so you don't have like smaller fighter ships or anything like that in here. They don't. This kind of ship only has like 1 or 2 of those. Well, I'd say more than 1 or 2. Say like 4 of those anyway. So this is just a couple of like landing craft and things like that, and of course the Owl. You can see there's some pallets there, like wheeled pallets with fuel canisters about the size of like, say, a beer keg. So like with like, like a dozen beer kegs, like all with the red and black like warning stripes on them or something of that nature. Nothing near the Owl. Trick there would be getting them on the ship. But you can certainly, actually from here, you could probably glide down to the ship and just go in through the top hatch that's next to the gun turret. That doesn't necessarily deal with Everett, but if you wanted to get to the ship, nobody's looking up, so you could probably drop right down on the ship. Doesn't, again, necessarily solve all of your problems.
I'm not gonna leave him to his own devices. Give me a few minutes to think about that, and then come around.
Sure. Captain, did we roll for you for sneaking? We did. We did for you, Captain and
Neil.
Kale sneaking back. That's been taken care of. Nathan and Naomi. Naomi already did all the punching and stuff, and Nathan hasn't done anything yet. So we're gonna have Nathan try to figure out how. Nathan, how are you working your way to the comms? How are you and Naomi working your way to the comms?
Well, I imagine that there's a large amount of brutalized folk between us and there.
Some of them may. I mean, there's a good chance that some of those uniforms are wearable. Certainly you.
Oh
have,
no!
No.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh no! No, because we're gonna put on the bloody ones.
You're gonna put. Oh, you want to find the ones that are.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I got a black eye. I mean, we're gonna head that way, and we're gonna be like, anyone we run across is gonna be like, the prisoners have escaped. It's horrible. Get everybody to the cell blocks.
I am not putting on a uniform.
Ha! Thank you, Dave. I was just trying to figure out how to phrase that challenge.
Okay, I will then.
Okay. What? Okay. So what are you going to do with?
Actually, it'll probably just be the jacket. And then anytime anybody gets close, it'll be like, "Hey, Naomi, hide in that room."
You're verifiably not putting on the uniform.
Yeah, it's just like the jacket.
Okay. All right.
I can't let you walk up to Imperials that are out to kill you and have me hiding in a room nearby.
You are Lord Blackbird's loyal defender.
Yes.
But also the Empire thing here. So, I mean, what's it going to be? The only way to stay close to him is staying in disguise. Properly close to him. Close enough.
We can just keep beating up people as we run into them.
I mean,
give me like 5 steps between me and the Imperials. You can close that distance. Then you can go punch.
If things go wrong, you can totally punch.
I just don't want things to go wrong. I mean, admittedly,
I think this is an unwise course of action.
Then put a uniform on.
So I'd say, you've already brutalized, what, 20, 30 guys? I mean,
18.
how much longer before, something bad happens?
The worst that happens is more of them come along. I don't see a downside here.
Just want to beat up the entire ship. I want to
You
beat
can't-
up the whole ship.
You
All right.
can't punch a ship down. Although I know you'd probably try and get very far.
I could put holes in it.
I am willing for us to escape out because you need to be kept safe. So the only ones that are at threat are the ones between us and that goal. See, it's a compromise.
It is a compromise.
I can just see the two of you doing this as you're quietly going down the hallway. No, I am not going to put on that uniform.
Back up some more. Stop.
Excuse me, half a second. Bam, 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 bam.
It's
Now,
like,
you were saying?
Look, we only have to get there.
okay.
That's all we got to do.
All right. So, Nathan.
Yes.
I guess cunning, deception,
Misdirection.
Misdirection? What's the misdirection? What's the misdirection look
Oh,
like?
Go to the.
Oh, we've
get
been
to the
attacked by
presence.
that. Right. Cunning, deception, misdirection, disguise. Codes? Do you have imperial codes, Nathan?
I might.
Do you?
I believe I do.
I believe you do. Cunning, deception, misdirection, disguise, codes. Plus the 1 dice anyway. So that starts you off with 6, and you need, I think, probably 3 to get up to the comms.
All right.
Comms area. This place hasn't been alerted, and you're
Let's
dressed.
see. So how many did I have?
You have 6, and you
I will
Can I
throw
assist him?
you can.
with punches whenever somebody starts questioning.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can certainly throw in a dice there. It's a different
So-
kind of approach to the whole thing, but
So I threw in 1. Bill's throwing or Dave's throwing in another, so that puts me from 6 to 8.
hello.
So let's give this a roll.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. I think Joyce is silently cursing himself for letting us do that. Oh no, he's on the phone. Never mind.
Yeah, that's good. It's a lesson that probably would have been better learned beforehand. But okay, 1 second.
Don't die. We're counting on you.
Luck. We're all counting on you.
Okay, I'm sorry, sweetie. You did the right thing, and I'm proud of you. Okay, you did a good job. All right, yeah, go get some sleep. Yeah, go get some sleep. All right. Yeah, that's good stuff. I like it. All right, I'm gonna hop off, but
Nathan, he's our man. If he can't do it, we have other clients.
thank you for pushing me up. Hey,
It's horrible, Bill.
that's fair.
Well, it's the cold hard truth of
All
smuggling.
right. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
So you're saying that was Han Solo's cheer if Luke and Vader didn't get off?
Yeah, he gets boarded. So yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Last call. I think everybody's
That's all right.
home now. My daughter had to talk to me and vent about how much of an idiot an adult was. I think it was a fun new experience for her. She was complaining, and no adults were saying, "Now, dear, he wasn't that bad." No, he legitimately was bad. Anyway, all right. So we had all the tallied up, and what happened? We need to roll, right?
3 successes.
Three successes, which is sufficiently enough. I'm just curious if the last dice. Oh, last dice was a success. So there was at least one situation where Naomi was punching.
Actually, I think that it'd probably be best if that was like right before the control room.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to have us to roll to get rid of the, to disable the control room, I have something in mind for that.
Okay, that sounds good. Do you like drag that guy into the control room after you then, or something, or just
Oh no, I think it'll probably be
the
like
guy in the control room?
no. It's probably like it's right there at the door, and so you know, in like the movie cinematic version, that's where they hear like a knocking at the door.
Mhm.
But after like the second knock, it's actually Naomi like punching a guy through the door.
Knock, knock, smash.
Yeah, and then that's when Lord Lord Blackbird kind of comes in and is just like, control room, and I think that's when the lightning happens. And
Yes. Oh, the lightning. Oh, so you're just gonna seriously disable the control room.
oh yeah,
Very nice.
it's like
All right.
zzz, you guys need to fix that.
Okay. So it's wham, and the last of the little fancy knock is the door going straight down.
With the guy on it.
Flying apart in 2 bits.
Knock, 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 wham, and yeah, and then lightning everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. Actually, it's quite pretty. Crawling all over the walls and stuff. You managed to not be electrocuting yourself. Questions. We're gonna stop because it's getting late, and we're gonna escape the owl. The communications thing is not a problem. Kale's able to disable the thing. So questions for you, Captain. How do you and Kale get back all the way from one end of the ship to the other end? What's that look like? Question from Margie. She's muted.
You're not muted. You're muted still.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
So,
What does that look like?
and how much time do you want before the ship starts to seriously have altitudinal issues?
Well, knowing Kale, I think that the last most disabling thing is probably something that has some sort of timer or trigger to it. So let's see.
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is sort of pressure based. The larger ships use a lot.
Oh, so we can set it to. That's what you're saying. We can.
Well, the way the blue works is there's like you stay above a certain altitude and everything's like the air outside is breathable. It's not space, so it's the air outside is breathable. As you get down lower, the air becomes more toxic, more caustic.
Right.
The owl is actually set up to be able to descend and withstand that caustic stuff for like 4 or 5 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, the bigger ships.
4 hours.
The bigger ships can't actually do that because in order to stay up, they have to keep the pressure to a point where they literally can't get down that far. Like they can't descend into that air. So there's no point in. So if you rupture some ballast tanks, or I guess the reverse ballast tanks, but if you can build up the steam, there's a certain period of time beyond which that's going to happen, and so you can put kind of crude timers on it in the sense that if I do X, this tank is going to rupture within the next period of time. How much time?
Yeah, it's sort of like the classic, blowing up an old building by setting the boiler to overheat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Damaging the safety.
Exactly. So that's it's not precise, but in fact, to the point where I just have you roll that kind of thing later and see, if it is this an appropriate time for it to blow up conveniently. But if that's what you're looking for, the question then is, if you're all the way back there, do you warp back to the owl? What do you do?
Can I take Kale with me or not?
Yes, you can teleport yourself and someone you're touching.
Okay.
So
then we just warp back.
Okay. All right. So that's that.
I would warp to communications, but I don't have a visual of that, so I'm assuming I can't.
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna say you can warp to like places you're intimately familiar with. that are within like some kind of sane range. The owl is within the sane range and certainly an area you're intimately familiar with. So easy enough to teleport back to that from where you are. Is it Nathan? Is it basically electrocute the place and then run like hell, or do you do anything else? Do you just immediately lightning the thing, or do you do anything in the comms room first, or anything like that, or
no? It's basically just sort of walk in after the destruction, and it's just like, oh, this is the comms room. Bzzz.
Okay.
All right. So fix that. Bye.
But I'm assuming that we're all also taking advantage of the confusion that Snargle generated.
Yeah, Snargles. There's actually some alarms going off now because I mean, they're not relevant to where you guys are, but you know, once the engineers get down to kind of where Snargle was calling them, they start to see people laying all over the place. They're like, well, holy crap! And also, Mike had been sort of like, the prisoners are loose, so that's stirred up. But there's ruckus. It's all kind of a little bit behind you.
Yeah. And now there's a fire in the communications room. You know, it's
smoke going on. It's a mess. We will wrap up with. Does Snargle have a plan for getting down to the ship?
There should be some cabling or something around here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely moving heavier stuff around.
If I can attach a line up here and glide down to the ship, Everett can follow me down. And anyone else who comes out up here can do the same.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to worry about the gliding because, as I said, there's a lot of stuff happening. There is a lot of activity, but nobody's really looking your direction at this point. So we have Snargle gliding down, and he comes alight on the top of the ship. You guys have rolled really, really well this session. So Snargle comes gliding down on top of the ship. Nathan and Naomi are heading forward from communications. There's going to be one more roll for that as we're making the way through the rest of the ship. And the captain basically teleported onto the bridge of the Owl with Kale. Or wouldn't it be the bridge? Would it be the bridge? Bridge of the common room. Captain.
Whatever's closest to the actually whatever is just inside the door.
Oh, so like the
likely to be, but where we can see what's going on.
Cargo area, yeah. So you got like the gangplank goes up in like a sort of a cargo bay kind of area. So, and we're going to start there next time with a couple of things. Questions to think about. Nathan, how did you and Naomi meet initially, and how did she come to be sort of working for you? And I'm going to ask something similar of the captain and Kale because I'm curious about what their background's like. But again, file that away for next time. I'm also actually, how did Snargle get into this thing? Forget about Kale. How did you end up working with a goblin pilot? I mean, how did you even find?
I'm assuming it has to do with my own warp skills.
Yes, and again, how did you? Yeah, because it's interesting because you have warp blood. You have warp blood, but the ability that the goblins have for shape changing is also known as like warping. So that's interesting. Setting thing that I've sort of like came up, sort of settled on as I was talking with Mike today is that all of the magical abilities above it, like basic stuff, generally have like some sort of blood associated with them. So there's sort of specialties. So Nathan, which nobody but Naomi knows right now, is a storm blood. So weather stuff, lightning stuff, things of that nature. The captain's a warp blood, but kind of only knows the one trick. There's other types. There's a fire. Ursula Flint is fairly well known as a fire blood. It tends to be nobles because they tend to like find people with these abilities and sort of recruit them. There's a lot of the arranged marriages are sort of breeding to a certain extent, breeding these bloodlines together. Nathan,
that's why you're running away.
Well, yeah, Nathan's fiance is a ghost blood, which is exactly as creepifying as it sounds.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, so he's
fleeing. But damn, our kids would have had good control over winter.
Yeah, So you never, yeah. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. So the warp blood plus the fact the goblin thing, yeah. Think about that while we're pondering what's going on. And unfortunately, I think the captain's out of town next week. Is that right?
Yes.
The captain is out of town.
Next week. Okay. So sad trombones as far as that goes, but we will we'll try not to get your guy killed.
Appreciate it.
Every time I make that joke, I always think of that one Knights of the Dinner Table thing where the girl is gone, and they figure out that if the barbarian keeps moving above a certain movement rate and takes off all of her armor, her AC is actually better than it would be.
Yes.
Otherwise, so she's like running through the dungeon, killing everybody at a dead run, wearing nothing but a chainmail loincloth, and they have to explain like her dead character the next session or something like that. But all of their treasure.
Yes.
And then they find out that the player actually is more dangerous than the barbarian was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Good times.
Thank you guys. Next time we'll see about actually getting away from the ship, and see what that looks like. There may be some daredevilness for Snargle to pull off, and
hopefully helping Everett out hit the key of conscience.
Yes, hit the key of conscience for getting Everett sort of like very badly, like sort of wrapping his arms around the rope and wrapping his knees around the rope and sort of working his way down the rope as he's going. It's not pretty, but he is kind of getting down there. And the guy actually in the original Pirates of the Caribbean, the guy with the fake eye.
Oh yeah,
that dude.
Yeah.
With the fork.
With the fork and the eye and like that's physically that's the guy I'm thinking of for Everett, except alternately the mechanic that they did not stick with in Firefly that Kaylee eventually replaced.
Surfer dude.
But actually I'm way more okay with the other guy because as sort of an earnest like seeker of enlightenment throughout the Wild Blue, as he would have you believe, or possibly totally believes. It's hard to say. Everett, I got to make sure I remember that. All right, guys, thank you very much. Good times.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Awesome.
Or probably earlier.